A mysterious hobo gives James some magic, which makes a little peach get big and a little boy get a family.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. This episode of the Walt Vault podcast is brought to you by DonorsChoose.org. Our very own old man negative Luis is requesting your help. Due to COVID, the high school soccer team that he coaches is switching seasons and needs better gear. He is conducting a donation drive for his boys' soccer team in hopes of getting them some short-sleeve soccer jerseys in order to relieve them from possible heat-related illness. Luis says that if you are willing to donate, he will love you until the end of time, probably at least 1,000,000 years. We only need $500 to reach the projected goal, so please go donate now. In addition to Luis's undying love, anyone who donates will get an exclusive signed picture of the entire Walt Vault crew with Luis in an Olaf costume. And you know how much he hates Olaf, but he's going to be wearing the costume. That's the kind of dedication that he has to his students. So go to DonorsChoose.org, type in Luis Ruiz, or click the link that's in our description below to go and donate now. Thank you for your help. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 120.
Hey, babe, your face looks a lot better.
Does it? Is there less scar happening up there?
It's
I don't know if there's less.
Scar.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I like 120 less than I liked 11.
Yeah,
whatever.
the one-
Yeah, it was
stuff.
much of one. He sounded like the Count, like
Yeah.
a vampire. 1, 2. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound as
Not
good.
the Count
Welcome-
Chocula that I was trying to make him into.
Welcome to episode
It'll be
120,
cool though when
everybody.
we're on 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'll bring it back for that. I think that'll be a Halloween episode.
And then we're gonna one day it's gonna be 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
right.
God.
Oh my goodness.
We're
If we
out of
get-
movies by
If
then.
we get to 3, 2, 1, you guys, we really
should be
made
done.
it.
If we get to 3, 2, 1, I will give all of our listeners $1.
What do you? No, hey, come on, stop with the money. No, you will not.
Luis just reminded Michelle that she
Luis
still owes
doesn't
us
even- Luis, you don't even
$10,000.
have your mic in your lap.
It's over
Okay,
here.
first off, stop cussing and pick up the mic.
Okay, this week we
Who
are
said I
talking
cussed?
about a movie that Andre chose and has been wanting to watch for a while.
I like how she starts it
I'm
with
throwing
that.
him under the bus already. We watched James and the Stupid Giant Peach.
Is it stupid?
I'll get my first impression right now.
Dang. She
I
Wait
don't think
a
the peach
second.
was.
I think the peach was
like
fine.
that. I think everybody else
Oh,
was.
this peach is gross. It made me have the heebie-jeebies because they're fuzzy and it's juicy and it's so squishy and they
Juicy
were
and squishy.
inside it and I don't like that.
I mean, it's
peach.
probably pretty sticky in there. Yeah.
I
but,
don't-
It's giving you sensory issues.
yeah, and I don't eat peaches, so
You don't
Luis is
eat
giving
peaches.
the
I never
listeners
had
sensory issues.
no peach. You know why I've never ate no peach? I'm like resorting to my childhood right now.
Yeah, why are you?
Because my
What's
parents had a
happening?
peach tree in the backyard,
Uh-huh.
and they made me freaking pick the peaches. And you know how itchy you get when you pick those peaches? So I never ate one.
So
Never
it sounds like you're
did.
allergic to peaches.
No, I'm not allergic
I
to
have
peaches.
never
They make
gotten
you-
itchy from a peach.
I've never gotten
No,
itchy from a
because-
peach.
Dude,
That's
they get you
because
itchy
you're
all the
getting-
time. You
you're
don't need to be
getting-
allergic to them. They got some fuzz that cause most people, from my understanding, to feel
Be itchy. Yeah, you're just getting nice grocery store peach, not fresh off the tree. That's.
Oh.
Anyways, my
I
first
like me some grocery
my
store
first
peach.
impression of this movie was as we started watching it, some bits and pieces were coming back to my memory from watching it that one time at school. Did I enjoy it?
Sounds like you enjoyed it more than you're letting on.
I
If
think
it's
it
an,
was I think it was okay. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I liked
You
it.
threw the word stupid out there like real vigorously
I know.
earlier.
As
Sorry,
if it
it's
was
just
everyone's
it's
opinion.
just that peach. I didn't like that peach.
I love that the peach was the problem.
Literally,
Yeah.
the peachy problem.
the most inanimate object and character in that you hated.
Well, I had some
the-
other problems.
The
with
least
it, but
problematic problem.
It was
Right.
really
There's-
the
there's a
peach
lot of
at the end
problems.
of the day. It was okay.
Damn.
I enjoyed it well enough. I enjoyed it well enough. That's my first impression.
Okay, let me do my first impression. I did
Go
not
ahead.
enjoy it well enough. I'm
Okay.
gonna say nay, nay, nay to the nay, nay. The peach was fine. Everything else was an issue.
I knew Emily didn't like it. I just needed you to confirm
Nay,
it because
nay,
she
nay to
texted
the
us
nay,
like,
nay.
"Stupid! My name is James. So stupid."
Oh, no,
My name is
James. You know how many times we've done that? Louise is like, shut up.
Over the past week, there's been a lot of my name is James.
I'll never name my kid James.
I said the same thing to Louise. I was like, hey, I'm no James.
No James in
Ain't
this
having
family.
No Jameses.
No Jameses. That's funny.
No Jameses.
So you didn't like it.
So many problems with this
Mhm.
movie. But you know what's funny is that I said earlier, like, I think I watched this in school. And when I watched it, only one thing looked familiar.
Yeah.
And I know it was a promo thing. So I'm pretty sure I
Just
have not seen
just a
this.
trailer.
Well, maybe
Because
not
all
then.
I remember now that I watched it is the him crawling in the first time and his body going from
From human
kid
body to-
like it goes his body gets small and
I
his
think
head
that's
gets
the
big.
meme I sent you too. So
Yeah,
stupid.
like that's the only thing I remember. So I'm pretty sure we read the book and that I only remember it like coming out because not one other thing seemed even vaguely familiar.
Interesting.
Okay.
And I was saying WT the rest of the time because I was just so confused.
Wow.
It was a very confusing movie.
It's a
Oh,
WTB.
oh yeah, for sure.
I had no idea what was going on.
We're gonna get real into a lot of my gripes I have with this, but I'm gonna go on last, babe. Luis, what's your first impression?
It's awful. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even passively watch it.
Okay, so
I sat
Oh.
here.
I have a question. Were you more upset watching this, or more upset watching what was the last movie I picked? Flubber. Would you have rather watched Flubber?
Yes.
No, neither.
Neither.
I
Well,
would rather.
that's not a good comparison though because they're not even the same type of
Because
movie.
I felt bad
They're
choosing Flubber.
equally awful.
Dang it!
So I
I
just
just needed
compared
the
them.
movie Andre picked to be worse.
So if you were to look
Oh
at the
my
Venn
gosh.
diagram, they'd be both in the middle.
Okay.
Ting,
awful.
ting in the bad column.
So we have 3 nays. My nay is I'm
No,
giving
you
it.
put stupid out there like it was serious.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, no, and then you
Big
half
stupid
loved it.
peach.
well, because there was some parts I liked. Well, just one part. It was the worm, but
You gotta put away
Out of
that
all-
STUPID word.
Out of all the things you like, it's the worm.
yeah, he was the best one. Every time the worm came on the screen, I was happy, but no other times.
Oh,
All right, babe. First
I have
impression.
nothing nice to say to you right
that
now.
dude creepy, man.
You didn't like the worm?
He's over there trying to look like Ray Charles and stuff.
That worm
Oh,
was the
yeah.
best part of the
He
movie.
was definitely Stevie Wonder in his way.
Andre
through,
and I
through the
love
movie.
the
I
worm.
can't. I
Okay,
can't.
first impression.
Andre, okay, get
Wait,
into
wasn't
it.
Ray Charles blind too?
Yeah, they're both blind.
Yeah, but
And
Stevie
Stevie
Wonder
Wonder.
was more like.
You guys do
um,
know that worms are blind, right? They don't have eyeballs.
Still.
I mean, sure.
Why is he wearing them shades?
Who knows that? It's like a
It's not as if-
factoid.
it's not as if
Okay,
some-
That's
now
why
I
they
know.
live in the ground. They don't need eyes.
They don't
Oh.
need to see
They
it.
live in the eye in
exactly.
the ground because they don't have eyes. That does.
That's no. I'm saying because they live in the ground, they don't need eyes.
If he's blind,
They
why does
didn't
he
evo-
have sunglasses on?
I don't know. He wants to look
Trying to
cool.
look cool, man.
Why don't you
Makes
ask?
no sense.
You can ask Tim Burton, dude. I
I
don't
don't know where his eyes would have been.
or the Henry Selick. Ask him. Okay, Andre.
Oh, that's right.
Definitely makes no sense when he goes into the ground too. Why doesn't he have glasses?
He's got an outfit on, man. Leave him in his.
Why does he need an outfit?
Why does any of them need outfits? They're all wearing outfits.
I thought you guys were gonna like the worm. You didn't.
No.
The worm was dope.
I didn't like that stupid centipede.
First
okay,
impression.
Andre,
You mean
first
peach
impre-
face, rotten peach face.
I like everybody except for Glowworm. She's weird.
She doesn't even do anything.
I didn't even understand that character at all.
Did she even talk?
Yeah,
She
talks.
sings.
Yeah, she
Poor
sings.
Andre can't give his first
Yeah,
impression.
they're in suspense.
Did you like it?
This movie,
My name is James.
I did like it. It was very, very weird.
It was probably
okay?
nostalgic for you, right?
So yes, I remember watching this movie a lot as a kid, and upon this viewing, I didn't really remember a lot of the details about the movie, but it turns out that all of the details are super extra crazy and don't
That's
make
why we didn't remember
and
that
don't make
stupid
any-
rhino.
and don't make any sense. The
Oh
rhino,
my God, the rhino.
the hobo,
hobo?
with the magic
Wait, that was a
pasta
crocodile.
that he kept calling crocodile tongue when they were
Crocodile
definitely just like not penne
Rotini.
pasta, rotini pasta. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what was that about. There was the giant metal shark that didn't make sense. There's
I literally was like, WTF is going on?
there's all kinds of
And
crazy.
Jack Skellington
Jack
for a heck
Skellington.
of days.
He has a cameo.
Yeah, the whole time
that,
that was
that
happening.
lasts
Not even a
for
cameo.
7
No,
minutes.
that was like clearly Jack Skellington.
No, it was Jack
Yeah, it was Jack.
underwater. It wasn't like kind of Jack. It was like super uber, a full scene of Jack.
Yeah, like Henry
Kicking-
Selick was like, I'm gonna put Jack in here.
That was too much.
they
That
used
was
they used
bad.
the same head, the same Jack Skellington head.
That was bad.
for- Anyway, all that to
But you
say,
liked it?
there's a lot of weird stuff in this movie.
And then the giant peach was real, and people actually saw them.
Yes,
I don't
there's that
like
part
it.
too.
I wanted it to be in his head. What?
You know, as I was watching this, I was trying to remind myself that this is supposed to be like a children's story fable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I was like, all right, I'm just going to let them get away with this rhino crap because it's a children's story, right? No.
That was probably my least problematic thing, even though it makes zero sense to me. I mean, at least
The rhino, the rhino
So
was.
we have
the rhino was
3
great.
nays.
All
and
of that
one-
to say
Yay?
that I
Still enjoyed it.
I still enjoyed it because the animation style, the mixture between the live action and the claymation was like really impressive to me. Like I liked it a lot.
That's cool.
And there are some shots in this that we watched it on Disney Plus, which is like the up-res version of it or whatever. But there are some shots that like look really pretty, especially when they're like getting in the water and the peach is getting all big. I like all of the characters, basically all the bugs and
You like all
and
of them?
and James. I like basically all of them. Yeah, they're all cool and interesting in their fun little way. And when they're fighting the giant metal shark, I was like, this is the Bug Avengers. Look at these people go. Look at them. There's Ladybug, she's flying in the air, and then the Grasshopper, he's jumping all crazy. And
Yeah.
there's fun stuff in this
oh, the
movie.
grasshopper
I
was totally
think-
my favorite. Now that we're talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had read this story by Roald Dahl, which I probably did in school, and that's why we watched James and the Giant Peach in school, I think they did as well as they could for the movie, for the weird story. Like, I don't really think it was the movie. I think it was the story that they were making into a movie that was like, huh? Like, did they shoot the movie well? Yes. It was a mix of live action and claymation because,
is it
yeah,
claymation?
that's what happened in the story.
I think
it
it's
was
more
claymation.
stop motion.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
stop
stop
motion.
motion. Sorry,
It's
not
squeeze.
claymation. It was shot fine. The story is weird.
What year did this come out?
96.
Because I'm gonna say some of the live action was a little.
Oh, so yeah,
Yeah, because
the,
it's
the,
on
the
Timber
live.
and they make everything dark and weird.
Well, not
The
just
only
that.
Thing, wait. The only thing that was cool was that creepy lady's makeup. They did a good job.
Oh
on
my God!
that. Come on, they did a good job on
Bless
that. She
you.
looked
The-
real creepy.
Both of the ants. One of
They
whom.
look
I didn't.
nasty.
One of whom
I
was
liked-
Professor Sprout from the Harry Potter movies,
know.
which I didn't realize until after it was over. I was like,
Oh, you
oh,
didn't?
that's right.
Oh, I did. I
Miss
was like, there
Sponge.
she is.
Miss Pomona Sprout.
Yeah. So I was like, cool job on the makeup. Y'all did good.
Yeah,
But-
She
they look
didn't
good.
look as bad as the other one.
yeah.
Holy
The
Like-
other one
moly.
is the one that I
Cruella
really liked.
DeVille incarnate over here.
Exactly.
The Crypt Keeper,
I was
anti-Crypt
like, they did
Keeper
a
out
good
here.
job on this. Even when she came out of the ocean at the end, I was like, yeah, that's what she would look like. Good job.
Yeah, dead. Looks terrifyingly
Dead.
undead.
You know, I feel about the same about the weirdness shooting of this movie as when you made me watch Beetlejuice, because I did not enjoy that movie.
No, Beetlejuice was better than
I
this.
love Beetlejuice.
You love it?
Yeah.
Ugh, it's
We've said his
okay.
name a few times now, so we can watch it
Just
back.
one more Beetlejuice.
No,
Oh.
but what were you gonna say about the live action part?
That being said, the live action stuff, like they definitely shot on a very small budget of the
Yeah.
rest of the movie. You know,
I
like
swear they had like one set and they just used every like
they just
weird
kept
angle
moving
of it.
stuff around.
Like bad angles of it.
The very first scene is James and his parents on the beach or whatever, and there's supposed to be like a lighthouse like kind of far away in the background, but you can tell that it's just like
it's just a
an
backdrop.
8-foot lighthouse that's right behind them, and
Sure.
it looks pretty bad.
It kind of felt more like I was watching like a musical to me. Like they use like a musical-esque type set.
Yeah.
Where they do like one thing and they like one set, you know, and they just kind of go around it.
Yeah,
But
the live action stuff
music-
looks like it was shot on like
It's like
Broadway,
a musical
like a Broadway
with
stage.
terrible music.
I wouldn't have minded that. I think I might have liked that better if they had just like moved along as if it were like on a
Yeah.
On a stage.
because this was just like what?
Yeah, I didn't, and also I didn't like the music. Did you?
Music done by Mr. Randy Newman, right off of
You
his Toy
got
Story
a
fame.
friend
Mhm.
in Randy.
He did
Toy
that.
Story was better.
Did that the year before this, and then he jumped right into James and the Giant Peach, and my name is James.
I was gonna punch that boy because
That's
he
what
was so off key that I was like,
me.
"Yo, I get that they hired this kid for his little voice or whatever, but you sound better than him."
Thank you.
I can't.
Yeah.
Also, this movie's just like child abuse too. So
Well, that's the thing, is that it's a story by Roald Dahl, and almost all of
Yeah.
his stories are just child abuse to the max. I mean, it's a story of people who are about to be arrested for for abusing their children.
I think that the reason Luis is so against this movie is because he can't stand those types of situations. And I think that the moment this movie starts, you're thrust into this like really abusive,
Happens
awful
so
situation.
yeah, it's like Harry
And
Potter.
he literally was like, well, yeah, he did the same thing when he saw Harry Potter. For the
Oh,
first
did he?
I'm done. I hate them so much. Like, he can't even get, which I realize that it's awful to watch.
The Dursley effect.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I like that
Mhm.
Dursley effect.
But it's you gotta be able to get past it, because at least in these types of situations, when it's Disney or when
Yeah.
it's Harry Potter, you know they're gonna get to a better place.
Did you
Yeah.
feel that way about Cinderella, Luis?
Don't remember watching it.
Like
We
with
definitely watched
like
it.
with the stepmom and
Her
the,
stepmama
and the
makes her
stepsisters.
do
Sisters?
all the chores.
They were
just like
mean.
this one.
Yeah.
Don't
She was
remember
older.
watching it.
Oof. Oh, good
I think
God.
I read a trivia that you don't remember watching. You don't remember the story of Cinderella at all.
No.
No,
That's the first I've heard of it.
he's being a brat.
I don't know. Said
I
the
re-
hula?
I read that
Stop.
the aunts were kind of based on the imagery of the Cinderella stepsisters. That
Yeah.
one is like
Tall and
Right.
skinny.
tall and
and
skinny, and one's like
Short and
frumpy.
stout.
yeah, frumpy and spongy or whatever.
Spongy.
Um,
Oh, I felt so bad for him when they were like making all the food. They were like eating the cheesy chip puffs, and they gave him a fish head.
Yeah,
I was like,
That
"Huh."
was disgusting.
the ants they really go in hard on making sure that this kid
The
stays
chores
miserable.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the fact that they had to take him in,
I
that
was
they
also trying to like figure
feel
out
like they need to torture him
were
into
they like the mom's
slavery?
sisters or were they the dad's sisters? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, these might be like great aunts or something. You
I
know?
don't know.
They seemed.
I don't know. Like, the Dursleys weren't even that mean, though. Like, serving Harry fish heads.
Fish heads.
No,
Like,
they at
that
least
was
fed him.
that was nasty.
Yeah,
No cake, but you know.
Well,
no presents.
I'm not as sure they fed him. They
Like
made
a
him
sock.
feed himself.
Right.
well, I'd rather eat something out of somebody's cupboard than eat a fish head.
Yeah.
Two fish
two
heads.
fish heads.
It's gross.
Y'all didn't have any other parts of the fish that you could have given me?
Nasty. And then they
Well,
Well,
laughed
they ate
about
that.
it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't eat that spider. I was hungry. Poor guy.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So basically, the movie starts. James is happy on the beach. His parents are there with him, and then a rhino comes out of the sky to
Stupid.
murder them. So he becomes an orphan. And that happens real quick, like within 30 seconds of the
I was
movie
very
starting.
confused.
And the ants are always like, "You can't leave that rhino to get you." I'm like, so you're basically telling them that you'll die too? Like, that's so rude.
Yeah,
He's
they,
so-
they mock
oh.
the parents' death. They're like,
Your parents were killed by that rhino because they let their dreams get ahead of them.
or whatever. And it's like, oh my
That's
god,
why
okay.
the rhino killed
That's
them.
why a rhino killed them. Sure, all right, lady.
on the beach.
As soon as they said that about the white rhino, I was like, I'm done.
Luis will never be able to read children's fables.
No,
mean-
he doesn't. No.
They're
Talking
not
pigs,
real.
not Luis.
They're not real.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why it's called a fable.
Right, that's a story.
Neither is Pikachu.
No, that is real. I caught him just now.
That's
Detective
another
Pikachu.
problem.
I saw the movie.
Okay.
That was live action done well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these ants, and I do want to stress again that they look horrible. They really
In a
look,
good, horrible
right,
way.
right.
Yeah,
Like
I
the,
liked looking at their
the
horrible
makeup
faces.
is really good. To
Even
make
in
them
like the
look
teeth
really
and the
bad.
like.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just the attention to detail.
Oh,
Yeah, they
spongy.
had
She
some
got a whole
good
bunch of
makeup
warts all over her
costuming
face and
going on
stuff.
with them.
It was they're a nightmare to be around basically. So yeah, they don't feed him. They send him out to do chores, and then when he complains that he's like a little bit tired because he was doing chores all day, they call him lazy. And then at one point he's sad because they haven't fed him, so he makes a paper balloon out of a
Like
wrapper.
a paper lantern kind
Paper
of a thing.
lantern, yes. And he meets his spider friend because there's a gigantic spider in his attic bedroom.
Well, and also it's important to point out that these ants are like always killing bugs, like with their fly swatters and
right.
stuff. So when he sees a spider, he's like, "Oh no, you can't make a web here. They're gonna get you." And he was like, "I'll be your friend.
I'll be your friend.
I'll be your friend." And then
I'll
we get
be your
this
friend.
stupid name is James song.
My name is James.
That's what mother called me.
When she
I'm
was
like, what do
alive.
they call you? Not James.
Nah,
Daisy
dog.
James.
The saddest part was when he got all dressed up to go play with those kids.
Oh, So let's get there.
Oh,
And they'll
yeah,
say
duh.
James.
So he makes friends with the spider.
James!
He sends out his paper
James!
lantern, and then he gets sent out of the house for some reason or another. And while he's out there, there's just a guy, and he's got his fingerless
To kill
gloves.
the spider. Remember, he was supposed to get the
right,
spider
right.
out of the house.
The aunts discover the spider.
Yeah, why was the ant in his room?
She comes in hot and tries to kill the spider and can't hit it, even though it's moving pretty slow. It's going Quicksilver speeds, and
Black Widow.
it's not making it. But James scoops it up and takes it outside. He saves it. He's not gonna
Also,
kill it.
y'all ain't supposed to pick up no Black Widow. That girl will bite you.
It's not a Black Widow.
That's a Black Widow.
Did you see a
I didn't
red
see the red widow
hourglass
thing
on
on
it?
him.
No.
That was for sure a Black Widow. Then what was it?
Oh no, it's a Jameson John P.
Well,
spider.
what do you?
Freaking Black Widow.
What was the rhino in the sky?
Yeah, what is anything in this oil? You
I'm
know?
looking this up right now. That's a widow.
Go ahead.
That's why she wants to be by herself, because Black Widows, they like the females just nest by themselves, because if the dude comes there, they just eat them.
I mean, or that could be a brown recluse. That could be any spider.
It's
Most
Black
spiders are
Widow.
like that. Anywho, he goes out to save the spider, and then there's a stranger out there. He's got a weird jacket on. He's got fingerless gloves, and he's got magic crocodile tongues on him. He's like, "Hey, boy, get over here."
This is where my suspension of disbelief was suspended.
Yeah.
Luis had walked down the hallway, and I don't know what he was doing. I think he was like brushing his teeth or something, and he came back down the hallway, and he's like, "What's happening now?" And I was like, "Crocodile tongues," and he's like, "I'm done," because I don't know what else to say.
There's like no way to explain it at all. It doesn't make any sense. He comes out of nowhere.
I'm pretty sure he's like. That's why I thought this was all in his head.
Right.
That like some random like he created this guy
I guess
to give
yeah.
him something magical, but apparently he was real.
The dude is real, and he's dirty and scary, and he's handing this little kid his paper balloon back, paper lantern. He's like, "Hey, I found some crocodile tongues. They in there. Hey, don't let them get away, because they'll be magical for anything that they touch or whatever they touch. So keep them all in here. There's like, I don't know, 300 of them in here. Don't lose any of them." James takes that. He steps away.
Immediately
He
falls.
takes 2 steps up the thing and immediately trips, falls, spills all the crocodile tongues. They all go everywhere, into the ground, into the tree, into the ground again. That's all that's out there.
James,
What was he
come
supposed
on,
to do with
James.
them though? Eat them?
I
Oh,
guess.
they were
Put 'em
supposed
on
to-
the spider?
They were supposed to take him on magical adventures.
Right. I guess he was supposed to ingest them. But he didn't get that far because he dropped them all immediately.
I don't know.
He just says
That
whatever
sounds like a
they
psychedelic
touch,
trip.
Whatever
Oh,
they
yeah.
touch, it does some magic.
It does
That's all
some,
we know.
it creates some
So it
magic for
touched
them.
the tree. There's a peach.
Yes, it touches the tree. The aunts come back outside. They're like,
James, what are you lazy doing? Get your butt back in the house, whatever.
and then they see that the peach has grown on this tree.
This tree has been dead for years. It's never grown no fruit.
And
I feel like you should do a synopsis like what's his name? Olaf
like
does.
Olaf does.
Yeah.
Just as the aunts.
So then the peach starts growing
It's my peach.
on the tree.
It starts growing as James goes up to climb to get it, and it just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like astronomically big. It starts holding down the weight of the entire tree, and soon it's, I don't know, like a
Makes me want to
solid,
throw up.
like a cottage-size
Yeah,
peach,
for sure.
basically, right?
Stupid peach. Nasty.
Peaches
Over
are
that.
like really good.
Oh, and then he was touching it, like when he put his hands in it to like bring some of the peach out. I wanted to throw up. It was disgusting.
Oh, I was feeling it. I was trying to have smell-o-vision right there.
That's disgusting.
I bet it smells so good.
That
Oh,
whole
for
song
sure.
where they're like eating the peach, I was like, I gotta get out of here. It's nasty.
Well, I kept thinking they were going to eat so much that it would like fall out of the sky or something,
Yeah.
but we never got there.
Yeah,
It's too big.
I don't know if any kind of food would gross me out as much as this peach seems to be grossing you out.
I just don't like peach.
Maybe if they put like James and the Giant pea, like it was just a green pea.
Ew.
We can eat forever. Gross.
James and the Giant Pea.
Disgusting.
Thought of when you said that. I mean,
So stupid.
I literally thought he's flying around in a letter.
And,
in a letter.
Yeah,
the
like
letter
everybody's
P.
in the circular part of the P.
and then
This movie.
Oh,
This movie is.
I was thinking we were like in a urinal or
They
something.
could have made it like anything else be giant. It would have made more sense if
Nobody
it was an
else-
apple.
Nobody else has a peach problem.
yeah,
Whatever.
no one.
No one else.
You're the
has a
only
peach
one on earth.
Should have been an apple.
That
The worm would
the
have made
entire
sense.
premise of the peach part of the movie.
But
is,
how would they have
Amber?
like made? No, an apple wouldn't have made any
Dude,
sense
I
because like
would get
the
into
peach-
a giant hamburger for sure and
Ooh.
eat the
Falling
inside
apart.
of that
Hey.
out.
Falling
I don't
apart.
care.
Let's watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs after this. You know what I'm talking about? That's where the good food's
Yeah.
at.
Also, they're like inside this peach, like pretending the peach would just be hollow. Like, nah.
No, they're
It's not
inside the
how
pit.
The pit is big on the inside of a peach.
And it's hollow.
I don't know.
It's not hollow.
Have you ever seen the inside of a
Yes,
a
I
peach?
have,
The peach pit.
and it is
Not hollow.
It's not hollow.
hollow.
Is
Hollow.
it hollow? Luis would know because
Hollow,
his
hollow,
mom
It's not hollow.
cans peaches every
No, that
year.
kind of. I think that's apricot.
But
I
it
don't
tastes
know.
almost. Yes, an apricot has the hollow circle in it. That is correct. I love apricots.
They're the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's so
Apricots
close.
is so
It's
good.
literally
It's so
like a
similar.
cross-breeded fruit, practically.
Apricot's delicious.
Peaches.
Peaches is mushy. My baby will never eat no peaches.
Why do you provide? Why does the baby get to eat a peach?
No peaches.
Dude.
What? You're like one of the aunts.
You are
Let
not
your baby
Edna.
choose-
Get out of
Let
here.
your baby choose for itself.
Yeah.
No
Don't you?
peaches.
It's not your mouth, crazy. Let him enjoy whatever peachy flavors he wants.
What is wrong with
I
Michelle?
also, when I used to work at Jamba Juice and people would get like the peach paradise smoothie,
A tasty smoothie because it
that's
has peaches in
disgusting.
it.
That's so nasty. Nobody wants no peaches in their smoothie. When
I
used
put
to,
peaches on my Greek yogurt probably every single time I make Greek yogurt.
That's absolutely disgusting.
I like the peach flavor of yogurt.
That is so gross. Yeah, I'd be making a peach
I'm
paradise.
done with you.
And
Move
like,
along.
if anybody ordered a peach paradise, I was like, "You're weird," and I would
Straight
not be
up
your friend.
judgment.
Yeah, I'm no friend, no
I'm going
peach
to Jamba
paradise.
tomorrow and getting a peach sunrise
I
or
have
whatever she
had
said.
peach paradises in your presence.
No, you would no, you get no Caribbean passion, strawberry surf rider, no
Ooh,
peach
that-
paradise.
Okay, first off, you're saying all the things I get.
Caribbean passion is delicious.
Give me that surf rider.
Anyway, you once again, we want to remind you, you're the only one who has a problem with the peach.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Listeners, does somebody have a problem?
No, we know you don't.
Yeah.
We know you
It's
don't.
a
Don't answer
peach
that
problem. It's a problem at a beach.
The
Continue.
aunts try to monetize the peach immediately. They set up a fence. They set up a ticket booth. They're like,
Come see the peach. No pictures. No pictures. No playing with the peach. No touching the peach. You children get out of here.
I know one little girl was like, "Can I touch,
Can I
the,
touch
peach?
the peach?
And she was like, "Touch the peach," and she just like ripped up her ticket. I was like,
She's
"Oh my
like,
God."
bye.
Get
My
out of
favorite
Dude,
thing was
how
that she. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The one with the priest.
What?
Like she double charged him, I think, and
Oh.
then he's like, "God save you" or something like that. I'm like,
I don't think I remember that one. I think I was getting some
like
popcorn.
the Catholic priest like walked up and was like trying to see it, and she's like, "That'll be double for you, Father." And then he like walks by and he's like, "May God save your soul" or something.
Oh my gosh.
I like the photographer one. The photographer
Oh,
comes up
that was good.
and they're like,
Oh, yes. Take our picture. Take our picture.
and then they pose like 7 or 8 different times for all these pictures. They're like,
No pictures of the peach.
and they take his camera from him. These ladies are crazy.
I can't.
Anyways, they do the whole peach thing. They make their money, and then
James is dressed up.
Louise, you can say how James was dressed
Oh,
up.
that was stabbed to the parent.
poor
heart.
homie, man. He was like, he was in his like
Sunday best.
It sounds like a little sailor outfit.
His little toy.
Little toy.
In his jacket.
He wanted to play with his friends. He was like, they were like, "Why you all dressed up?" He's like, "Well, I was just gonna play with the children."
play with the
and they were
children.
like, "Ha! You can play with their garbage." And they gave him
Yeah, I know that was
Go pick up the
rough.
garbage.
We're making it much funnier than it was.
They make the
So
trash
sad.
pickup kind of fun though. They
deflecting.
give him a basket on his back and they give him a little stick. I'll be
Yeah,
having fun
I-
out there too.
No,
Andre,
you
we're
wouldn't.
gonna-
If I freaking, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a stick.
It's
and a
Stockholm
garbage
syndrome,
bag
baby. Let's go.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna pick up all this garbage.
And I'm gonna see if you think it's fun. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna put garbage outside just for you.
And I'm gonna put peaches outside just
for
for
you.
And then I'm gonna
you.
make you eat a whole bowl of peas.
Cheese.
No. James
Peas and
James and the
cheese.
Giant Cheese is an awful movie that shouldn't be
James
watched.
and
You're
the
right.
Giant
I'm back on
Pea
Michelle's
cheese.
side.
It's a pea wrapped in a soft layer of cheese.
Ew.
Ugh, good God Almighty! I hope y'all aren't eating while you're listening to this
That's
episode.
disgusting.
really
Move
nasty now.
along.
Oh, you had too
So-
much coffee. Okay.
You
the-
literally had 2 sips.
No, I love coffee.
So, go ahead, Lou.
You ain't waking up early tomorrow.
I am.
You
I'm
staying
gonna-
up late.
I'm gonna get up early and garden. I'm
Okay,
gonna grow some peas.
whatever. So James goes outside. He starts picking up trash, and then he notices one more crocodile tongue that didn't put his magic in anything, I guess, or something like that. It jumps up into the peach and creates a hole, a portal, a doorway.
And then he eats the bite of the peach, and then the crocodile tongue jumps into his mouth.
right,
And that's
as
why
he's-
he turns
as
into
he's
a
taking a bite.
cartoon. It's so stupid.
So he crawls into the peach, turns into a stop motion James, and then goes in there and
Which I
meets-
find absolutely hilarious that it did like the body got small and then the head,
his head
got big.
so big.
Like, oh,
It was like a baby. Like they have a small body and a big
Yes.
head.
It was like a
I was
cheat-
like, whoa.
It was like a cheat code in a video game. It was big head mode, and he was just walking around like a bobblehead. Mhm.
So he goes in there, and you can like hear all the bugs talking. They're like, "We can't come out of this peach because they'll kill us.
They'll spray us.
They'll spray us." And then they're like, "Nah, we're giant. We're gonna get them." I just kind of forgot about all the bugs. I remembered the spider, but
yeah, I agree. Like I knew there was a spider, and
Mm-hmm.
again now I'm thinking it has to be because of the promos. But like the moment the centipede came on screen, that's the character that bothers me the most.
Oh, really?
I remember
because
him.
because of his face. Like
It's
yeah.
like very angular.
he's always in like I just get this weird like they give him a weird persona
Yeah.
that never really
Yeah.
goes away, but also then they like over accentuate it with the way his face is motioned. I swear he's like a rotten peach. Like his face looks
Right. He looks like
Rotten.
he's related to the inside of the peach.
well, for the longest time, Andre thought it was a caterpillar
I
until
kept-
like in the middle of the movie, he was like, "Oh, it's a centipede."
I was writing caterpillar in my notes, but he was definitely a centipede.
what's the difference? I mean
The caterpillars, a centipede is a long black thing that has a
100
ton
legs.
of legs, and the caterpillars are just like squishy and green.
Probably like 6 legs, turns into a butterfly.
no, I mean I knew the difference, but
Right.
like there ain't no difference.
Right.
They're like in the ground and
2 bugs that start with the letter C. Give me a break.
Yeah.
They're different.
Okay.
If I saw a caterpillar, I'm like, "Oh, cute, a caterpillar." If I see a centipede, I'm like, "Get out of here."
well, he does isn't he supposed to be in the ground? Why does he have eyes?
I don't know. They're not always in the ground, those centipedes.
Those worms aren't always in the ground.
They are always in the ground
I don't
until it rains, and then they get out, and
They
then
get
they
washed
shrivel
out.
up and die.
On the sidewalk.
Your wife knows a
on.
lot about these things.
Yeah.
I used to play
she's
with
a little
worms
bug lady.
and roly-poly-olies. And
So James meets all the bugs: the ladybug, the spider, the centipede, the grasshopper, the glowworm. Am I missing something? And the worm. I think that's it.
the
Yeah,
glowworm is literally irrelevant. It's on there for like 2 seconds.
The glowworm provides light
That's the only reason
for
it's
the
there.
entire inside of the peach.
She doesn't do anything.
Was she
goes-
singing?
She sings
Maybe.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that character, but
The earthworm, who I think I do like the most, is played by David Thewlis, who played Lupin in the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, I like the worm the best.
Susan
He's hilarious.
Sarandon plays the spider, and Richard Dreyfuss plays the centipede. Everybody else, I'm not sure exactly who they are, but Simon Callow is the grasshopper, and Jane Leaves is the ladybug. And Miriam Margoyles is the glowworm. Oh.
So pretty much what happens, James gets himself in there, and almost immediately the ants are coming outside like, where's James?
Where's
What's
James?
happening? Yeah,
Where's that? Where's that lazy boy?
and everyone inside the peach kind of starts freaking out because they're like, they're going to come get us. And so I don't even remember how does the peach start moving?
I think they...
I
They
think
roll
they
it,
just
or-
weigh too much and
Oh,
it starts falling.
No, actually, centipede...
Oh no, the
he-
centipede cut it.
Yeah, he goes up there and
You're
cuts
right,
it with
you're
a
right.
little horn or whatever. What's it? Is that an antenna?
It's a horn.
It's
He
like
has
a horn
it's like
thing.
a pincer.
Yes.
A pincer.
So yes, so this is where. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this 25 times. This is where it starts to really get weird. Like again, I kept thinking like this is all going to be in his head, but like no, the centipede comes out as a fully sized centipede and cuts the peach from the tree, and it kind of starts rolling.
Correct.
And this is actually a really fun scene.
Yeah.
As the peach starts to roll down this hill that they live on and
hill.
towards
The ocean.
the
The
ocean.
Atlantic Ocean. Because they're in Britain, which we didn't mention.
Yes.
And also James's parents gave him this idea of going to New York City one day. So the peach starts rolling, and
it's rolling.
they're making their harrowing escape, and they hit a fence. They roll up the whole fence, so it's on the outside of the peach, and they fall off a cliff.
Which
land
that's
in
the
water.
coolest part. I
That
think
part
of the whole
was
thing.
cool because I know in the promos it has that thing on the side, and I didn't know what it was. And then after the scene, I was like, "Oh, it's a fence."
Yeah.
'Cause it gives them something to walk on, which
Yes,
makes
on the
sense.
outside
Yeah,
of the
that's
beach.
really cool.
Yeah,
Which
so
is
that was
cool.
clever.
They make their way into the Atlantic Ocean, and they're floating there, and they're like, okay, I guess we're doomed. We're going to stall on the peach. And then they realize that it's their job to go to New York because all of them want to make it there. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. What's the song?
Well, yeah,
they
because they all have a dream, and basically their dream, like as they were singing it, I was like, yeah, that's Central Park. Yeah, that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like as they were singing it, I know he was going to be like, we're going to go to New York.
Yeah.
That's why I felt like this was a musical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the song wasn't good.
No.
I didn't like
That's
any.
the life. That's the life for me.
And they were like dancing. I was like, you're trying to make this a musical, but I didn't like it. You know?
I mean, they're not trying to make it is a musical. It's
I
not-
know. They're trying to make it like kind of Broadway-ish. But
Sure.
I just didn't like it.
Randy Newman. So
But
they
it didn't sound very Randy Newman.
they embark on their trip. James has the brilliant idea to up the peach. He's like, let's attach some seagulls to the top of this thing and it'll fly us away. Even
That
though
was a
this
smart
peach
idea.
must weigh 10,000 pounds. I don't know. It's a gigantic peach. But
And he wrangles 700 geese.
Yeah, they wrinkle a couple of these birds. They tie them up with the spider silk, and it takes teamwork. But they get the birds to fly away.
I mean, that was smart enough, but the shark was a no-no.
Then the next weird thing comes, and it's a gigantic steampunk metallic shark.
Yes, definitely steampunk. That was the word I was looking for.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because it had cogs and
it has
and
engine power.
engine.
It was like shooting things off of its mouth. I was like, what is going on?
It's so weird, and it's targeting the peach or targeting James or targeting all the bugs. I don't know why this shark doesn't just eat fish or whatever. But he does all of that, and
why doesn't he?
the shark shoots like a what's that thing called?
Torpedo?
No.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
A
It's
grappling gun.
yes, he shoots a grappling hook
Grappling hook.
through the peach, and sticks it so they can't fly all the way away. And that's when they kick into their Avenger style action, and the ladybug flies up, and the centipede climbs the rope that the grappling hook is on, and he almost gets eaten by the shark. And then they throw something into the shark's mouth, and that it completely destroys it. It blows up the entire shark. I was like, oh snap! Look at him go! And then they fly off. So they defeated that particular weird obstacle that no one would ever have encountered, but they do.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, it really didn't make any sense. The thing about the weird things in this movie is that there's no payoff for them. So we got the giant stormy cloud rhino that kills James's parents, and that never has like an origin story or a reason or even like a metaphor as if it's just a real storm that killed his parents.
Exactly.
It was a rhino, and everybody will refer to it as a rhino. And then the giant shark, I mean, this is the only scene it's in, and there's no... Are there more metallic sharks in the ocean? Where's
I
this thing come from?
think that's why I'm so upset at this movie was that I was hoping, even though it's based on a book, like I was hoping that it would at least make it like seem that it was like a subconscious thing. Like he saw this and the obstacle he had to overcome to show that he had tenacity, and then like he had the smarts to figure something out, because there was multiple times when the bugs like kind of over encouraged him, like in the more than they would in a different like
Right.
setting, maybe like you did it, you're so amazing and blah blah. And I'm all about that because he wasn't getting that from anybody else in his family. But like at the same time, like you're saying, there was no alluding to what that was supposed to represent.
Right.
If it is supposed to
What
be
is
a
it
metaphor.
supposed to really mean?
Yeah.
But I guess they're treating everything that's happening in the movie as completely literal. But then there's no justification for why some of these literal things exist in this world. So it's kind of a convoluted mess in that sense. I totally agree. So they're heading on their way. They're flying. And then they all start getting hungry. They're like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? We're going to starve on this beach and we'll never
So
make it
stupid.
to New York City. And then James, he hits him with the answer one more time. He's like, guys, we're not going to starve. We're in a peach. We can eat the peach. It's delicious. And then they have a whole song about how
We eat the peach.
they realize they can eat a peach, and they just start going ham. They're cutting it into like little mango slices. They're making it into like peach beer, and then they're making slushies and stuff.
I won't even lie. There was a couple times where I was like,
Yeah.
I drink that.
Hook it up, and then they have a peach fight. I'm like, you guys are gonna eat through this thing before you
That's
get to
what
New York.
I said.
My goodness.
They're gonna like hollow through the bottom. Now you got this big old warp zone.
Yeah. So they're in there. James has a couple of conversations with like each of the individual characters. Like he talks to the spider, and she's like,
I'm alone all the time. I'm a spider. I don't like friends. La la la. Except for you. I'll tuck you in with my web.
I thought she was gonna eat him
I
for sure.
100 was like,
She was like wrapping him up in a web, just like,
I love you, James. You and only you.
and I was like, oh, okay, mommy spider gonna kill you.
she gonna eat you.
But she didn't. He talks to the grasshopper. The grasshopper's like, I love to make beautiful music, not like that riffraff that other crickets make. And then he makes like cricket noises. He's like,
So offensive.
yeah, I played the violin. He plays a Bach song. I looked that up. And then they might talk to the centipede at one point too. I don't remember what they talk about. Probably about he's got too many hands or something.
He's got hands on his hands.
Yeah, but they make their way through the sky. The centipede has been piloting the Peach this entire time, and one night while they're all asleep, Centipede wakes up and they're in the cold, and it's like really cold, like there's ice everywhere, and they're like, Centipede, where are we? And it turns out the Centipede has got them completely lost because they didn't have a compass, so they made their way up to Greenland or Iceland or something like that. They are not on the trajectory to get from England to New York. So they decide that they have to go and secure a compass from one of these sunken ships that is beneath them. Centipede decides to like sacrifice himself and go in there to retrieve the compass. There was a lot of ships that were like above water, but he chose the ship that was all the way underwater.
This is what. Oh my god. This whole thing makes zero sense.
Zero sense. And
Like
it gets
none.
Even less. It makes less and less sense as it goes on. When Centipede dives down into the water, they pass a different ship that has
Oh my God.
that has the aunts on the mast, like they're
Yep.
carved into the mast, and it looks just like them. It's definitely them, and then it just passes by that, and there's no explanation for why that's there. I was like, are the aunts here? Are they about to be magical creatures in the sea?
And when he jumped off the peach and they're like, oh, he's gonna die of the cold, I was like, yeah, because he can't swim. All right, he's just in the water, straight chilling.
Turns out that none of them need to breathe.
Oh
oxygen.
yeah, ever at
Because
all.
they're not real.
So yeah, Centipede's just like walking around underwater or whatever. He finds Captain Jack Skellington
Well,
or whatever.
and pause right here.
Mhm.
I go, so this, I was kind of like, oh, look, Lou, it's actually like Jack Skellington. Because the way his face was, he was like a skeleton, like pirate in like the captain's chair, like kind of over the top of the compass that they're wanting to get. So I thought to myself, like, it's just going to be that one little interaction.
one
We're going
shot.
to leave, and that would have been a cool cameo. Like, boom, love it.
Yeah,
Easter
we
egg.
kind of said
Nailed
that
it.
at first too, and then as it went on,
And
I was
then
like, this is too much Jack.
It didn't end.
They turned it into like a scary scene. So the dead Captain Jack
Stupid.
Skeleton, he wakes up, he grabs the Centipede's hand or whatever, and then it's a whole scene of like
Yeah.
tug of war where
Yeah.
they're
That's what I remember from the kid when they were stretching the centipede and then they were going to chop him in half.
right,
and I
yeah.
remember being like, that's crazy.
So James and the spider, they go down to help the centipede and rescue him or whatever. They also can breathe underwater, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
They managed to get the compass
And swim.
and swim back up to the surface. And they're like, we got the compass. Where's the centipede? Oh no, centipede. We left him down
was
there.
so
and then there's like
stupid.
his hat like bubbles up to the surface. I'm like, oh no, centipede. We told him specifically to go down there because he messed up, but we're so sad that he's dead now. And then he immediately pops up and is like, I got the compass.
I know, and like
saved
him
the
and
day.
the cricket are like, so sorry.
Yeah, so he must have killed Jack Skellington down there, and
Skeleton,
resurfaced.
he's not alive.
Well, he was
I mean, he's less alive now. You know what I'm saying?
a dead skeleton underwater, dead,
Moving
asleep.
around.
Weird.
Yeah, so that was a weird cameo in that you're right. If it was short and sweet, if it was just the image of him and we see him, even if he had woken up for a second and then went back down, that would have been a cool cameo.
That would have been
But
cool.
The fact that he
Just
was
too much.
the villain for this 15-minute scene or whatever
I
was
just
weird.
did not understand that. That was
Yeah.
so bizarre.
It was odd. But, I mean...
And they did say something, too, like, oh, my gosh, it's a Skellington. And I was like,
Right.
all right. And then it just kept going.
yeah.
Yeah, Henry Selick was like, I'm putting this in here.
Henry Selick is trying to get his due, okay? Tim Burton's name is written all over his previous movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and this film in particular, it said a film by Henry Selick, and he was like, yeah, they're going to know my name.
It says produced by Tim Burton.
Yes, because it is.
I just can't, though. It was so bad.
But yeah, nobody thinks of Nightmare Before Christmas as Henry Selick's movie, so I think
No.
he's trying to put his stamp on this one and include old Jack Skellington from his previous one.
Well,
It was
he
also-
did. Pretty awful stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
he's
hard
there.
because we watched James and the Giant Peach, but like 2 days before, I watched Nightmare Before Christmas, and so I was like, "This is not that."
Yeah, so they make their way out of that situation. They have the compass now. They float along, and then I believe they see the city beneath them, New York City. They made it. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Sings a song. They
Yes.
sing a song to like it in space. It's really weird.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's this whole space song sequence where there's this like aliens and UFOs flying in the background.
And people in sailboats and stuff.
Yeah,
It's weird.
there's a lot of weird dreamlike imagery. But
Which again made me think it was all in his head.
Right.
I would have been okay with these weird sequences. Sorry,
Yeah,
you're gonna have
that's
to
okay, I
beep
got
that,
it.
but like, I would have been more okay with that. But it's so literal
Yeah.
that it's not.
I thought it was
it's
going to
so
be
hard.
fake too, Emily, because when he was like falling from the peach, I was like, oh, he's going to wake up. Nope.
right, I think they needed to pick a lane with this movie. I had read that at one point they wanted to make it either a full live action or a full stop animation, but Henry Selick, with the budget that he was given, wanted to mix those two. So they made it a hybrid, and I think that kind of caused it to have less of a sense of direction overall. Like it's really.
Yeah.
It really doesn't really know where it's going or what it's doing with any of these themes or
Yeah.
elements.
So that was weird. And then I don't know if it was at the same moment where he actually was asleep on the spider's web.
Yes.
Where it
And he
was,
has a nightmare.
it went to like a different animation, and it was like a caterpillar, like with James's real face on it. And I was like, "This is what?
Yes.
Are we on drugs?"
The aunts roll up and they're part rhino or whatever, and they're chasing him, and then he almost gets eaten, and then he wakes up and he's still a stop animation
It was
boy.
too much. I
with a
was
big old
happy.
head.
I was happy when they started falling off the peach.
So at this point, then they're over the top of New York, and he had kept at that point. The Empire State Building was the tallest building,
Tallest building in
the world?
I guess.
yeah, or whatever.
Sure.
And the dad had talked about it, so he wanted to go to the top of the Empire State Building,
Mm-hmm.
and lo and behold, the peach starts descending.
Yes.
And
because he got attacked by the rhino.
Right. The rhino
Yes.
appears out of the sky and scares off the birds or something.
So he falls out of the sky on top of the Empire State Building, and it very well seems like the rest of the characters are
Dead. Like the
Dead?
peach falls
They
and
float away.
everybody falls off except for James, who manages to hold on to the peach, and he and the peach land on
No,
the
he
spire.
he cuts the birds loose and tells the bugs to hold on, and they float away. They fly away,
Oh, that's right.
so that they don't get hit by the rhino.
Yes, good detail. But their bugs are gone when James has realized that he's on the top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
So he's up there, and then New York starts to like look up and realize that a gigantic peach has landed
Oh, and
on,
then also
on their
at
building.
this point, the crocodile tongue fell out of his mouth, so he's a boy again.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened? He puked that up?
When he fell, like when he came to, when he went, like when he came to, the crocodile tongue thing came out of his
Leapt
mouth.
out of his mouth?
Yeah, stupid.
Okay.
I feel like I missed that detail, but
yeah,
okay.
I missed it too.
That's good.
But yeah, so he does turn into
So
a
he
real boy.
magics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on magic.
He on animations himself. And so he's up there. And then New York starts waking up. It's the middle of the night, but, you know, city that never sleeps, right? So everybody's in their pajamas, and they're like, look, a peach, wow, a peach. And
So stupid.
and then a cop, he sees it. He's like, oh, my God, there's a boy up there. And then he calls. And
I'm pretty sure nobody could see the boy, but
Give me
whatever.
the biggest crane in New York City. And then
Oh
a gigantic
my
crane
gosh.
moves into frame to, like, pull him down and pull the peach off, which they do very quickly. They do all that. They bring James down to the bottom, and they're like, the cop is like, what's the meaning of all this? And James is like, well, I was on an adventure with me bug friends, and then I was in England, and now I'm here, and I flew over in the peach. And they're like, kid, you're crazy. And then the aunts show up, and they appear in their wrecked car, which the peach ran over earlier in the movie, and it's all drenched in water. They open the doors, water spills out.
Yeah, because you can't drive from England to.
Oh, it turns out you can.
New York.
It appears that the aunts have driven this old car on the bottom of the ocean across the Atlantic Ocean all the way to New York City, and they managed to drive up to the street where the Empire State Building is.
on
and,
the street where you live.
And
My
across
eyes
James.
are closed right now because at this point in the movie, I was so done.
This, I think, the ending of this movie is the weirdest part.
For sure.
Where the entire city of New York is seeing that this gigantic magical peach has appeared, and they're all just like, oh, cool, wow, this is interesting. This is something you see
Well,
every
and then
day.
they're like listening to the ants because he's like, James is like, I'm not going with them, and they're like, he's our boy, he has a lion
And this is
problem.
our
He
peach.
needs some medicine. This is our peach, and the cop's like, oh, there's the adoption certificate, and there's a picture of you and the peach. So okay.
Yeah, they
and
brought
he-
his papers.
And he's like, I'm not going. There was a magical bug, and then I think they kind of think James is crazy until
Right,
the bugs
rightly
fall down
so.
from the sky.
yes, and then the bugs appear, and they're still in their stop motion versions, and they're like, wait, that boy is our family or whatever. and he's like, he's not a liar. We are giant bugs. And the whole city of New York is like, oh, okay,
Cool.
well, we believe you now then, I guess. And,
Yeah,
you know,
and
get these
Spider
darn ants
wrap
outta here.
up those crazy ladies.
Yep, so
Throw them away.
they wrapped them up. They were arrested for child abuse, I guess, and then they get to live out their days in New York City as
In the
legends
peach-
and
in the
heroes
peach pit.
In the Peach Pit, which they have fashioned into a nice little cottage in Central Park.
Oh yeah, all the kids are like, "Can I eat the peach?" And they're like, "Sure."
Yeah, it's not gonna keep forever. You guys, come on and eat it. And so the peach feeds all the hungry children of New York City.
Oh,
In 1996, and then all of the bugs go on to do fabulous things. The glowworm, she becomes the new light for the Statue of Liberty. The centipede, I don't remember what he does. The ladybug starts delivering babies. A grasshopper plays a sonata or whatever on his violin, and everybody's just super successful. And then James goes out to tell a nightly retelling of the James and the Giant Peach story to all the local Central Park children or whatever.
Central Park children.
And that's the end of the movie. Oh, and then
the hobo.
and then Hobo Guy shows up again. He's like, and that's the story that you heard here today is the story of James and the Giant Peach. Crocodile tongues. Bah! And then he disappears, and then the movie's over.
The movie has a stupid after credit scene. Did you make it to the after credit scene?
Yeah.
Yes, there's an after credit scene where it's an arcade game.
This is even more
It
bizarre.
doesn't make any sense. It's an arcade game with the two aunts, Sponge and Spiker. They're sitting on like a carousel type thing, and then
Not real people. It's
Right.
like a
It's like a game.
caricature game.
they're
of
game
them.
toy versions of themselves.
Rhinos
And then
hitting
a-
him in the booty, like on.
It's like a Rock'em Sock'em Boppers kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
but it's
like
like-
ramming them.
Yeah, like how they do on the Jungle Cruise. Like,
Yeah, the rhino comes out and it just bashes into them, and then the kid who's playing the arcade game wins the game, and
Leaves.
then it's over. And it was all weird, and none of it made much sense at all. But I liked all the jokes that the earthworm said.
yeah, he was
so
funny.
I was really into the
The
worm.
earthworm was funny.
Yeah.
When they're like wiggling him in the air for the seagulls, and he's like, "Oh!"
That was funny.
Yeah, so that's. The
But
end
I
of the
think that
movie.
I was just so annoyed that I couldn't laugh. Like I just was past the point of no
yeah,
return.
I think I think that the only reason that this movie worked for me is because
That's the point of
stop,
no
I'm sorry.
return.
the only reason that this movie worked for me at all was because I had watched it as a child and kind of taken in this story from a child point of view.
Yeah,
where
you're
I
nostalgic
wasn't-
for it.
Where I wasn't asking all of these questions. And so, to me, going into this, the story made some sense, I guess. But obviously, coming out, it doesn't at all.
Oh, it makes 0 sense.
It makes
It's not
absolutely
real.
negative 0 sense.
And this is why we decided.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Still?
Yeah, she's still singing
You're undertone.
past the point of
No,
no
but I
return.
know that Andre can hear me because he's wearing the
headphones.
and he keeps looking at me like, "Stop!"
The
Sorry.
point of no return. Everybody thinks I'm hot, except for Michelle.
So you have a Gerard Butler and a Peach thing.
No, I just didn't like that. I just didn't. He was creepy looking.
Yeah, so that's James and the Giant Peach, directed by Henry Selick.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
He
All
can
right.
keep his
1996.
direction.
And I'll have you guys know. I'll have you know
I'll
that
have
we
you know.
were supposed to do a different Roald Dahl movie, a live action one, and we just changed our mindsies because.
You didn't have to tell them that at all.
None
You don't need anybody to be
Yeah, but
disappointed.
last week I was like, oh, we were going to do another Roald Dahl, and it like hinted at what we're going to do. Now, we ain't doing it because this is...
You're done, Rolled. All right? It's over.
You're done,
We're not
Roald.
covering any more of your movies.
You're done.
It's over.
My favorite part is that Michelle was like, "We're gonna do another Roald Dahl movie," and then she walked in my house today and said, "We ain't doing another Roald Dahl movie."
Yeah, we're not doing it.
She made that decision lickety split.
That's right.
Nobody objected, so I'm
No,
okay
we
with
didn't.
it. Well, Louise kind of did. But.
Did you object, Louis?
What's Roald Dahl?
The BFG.
Oh, is that what Roald Dahl is?
It's
Well, he's an
it's
author.
The
He's the
gentleman
author.
who wrote the book.
His name is Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. Yes.
ROALDDAHL.
AHL.
And that's his
Yeah.
name.
He
Roald.
wrote. He wrote
You
this. He wrote.
You should
Matilda.
see his face right now.
He wrote Willy Wonka and Chocolate
Yeah,
Factory.
but Matilda and Willy Wonka are good.
Okay.
Wow, I got real defensive.
I was just explaining who Roald Dahl was. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he does have like a child
Mhm.
issue.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
He's also weird, but
Yeah. He is.
let's
He's
not
definitely
ask
weird.
like Matilda and Willy Wonka aren't weird because they are.
Right.
Um,
And all of those stories are like an inspiration for the Dursleys from Harry
I
Potter.
just can't do the BFG. Just can't do
Yeah,
it.
we don't have to. We're not going to.
We ain't doing it.
At least not yet.
today.
Right.
Not today.
Okay.
Maybe in 3 months when I
this
forget.
movie had a budget of $38 million.
Why?
Okay.
Well, stop motion animation
That's
is.
true.
Right.
I
And
don't know. You don't call it animation, but stop
Just
motion.
stop motion.
Stop motion movies,
mo-
film,
Picture.
filmography. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's. I can imagine that is on another level of
It's a lot.
time in detail, and especially because, not that I think it was done well, but like the centipede's face by itself, like how many different faces he had. Because if you remember
Yeah.
back to the Nightmare Before Christmas episode we talked about how many different heads Jack had
Right.
for
Was that
production.
stop motion or claymation? Nightmare
That was
Before
stop-
Christmas.
I-
What's the difference?
So
I don't get it.
the only difference between stop motion and claymation is just the materials that are used. It's still filmed in the same way where you take a picture, reposition the figures,
Okay,
take a picture.
but Nightmare Before Christmas was claymation.
right.
Okay.
But I think
I don't know. I guess when I think claymation, I think of like, what's that thing that you hate?
Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit.
Chicken
yeah.
Run.
Like
Yeah.
those types of like
It's definitely clay.
moldable
And all
clay.
the- all
Chicken
liquid
Run scarred
looks-
me for life.
all the
dude.
No,
liquid
Chicken
looks
Li-
weird.
Oh,
Chicken
Chicken
Run. That movie scarred me.
I
That
don't
movie's-
think I've
It
seen
was
That movie's
chopping
dope.
off chicken heads in that movie.
Oh,
That movie is great.
that movie great.
I love all of those.
Well, you
But-
know what we said about chicken.
We
Oh,
want
right.
Spicy
That was-
nuggets.
That was before the podcast.
spicy nuggets. We like them spicy.
So yeah, that being said, I mean, $38 million. They gave them that because The Nightmare Before Christmas was a success, right? And they expected a sequel success
They
with James and the Giant Peach.
past the point of no
Yeah, for
return.
sure.
Well, it turns out that they were very wrong. This movie had a box office return worldwide of $28.9 million.
No spicy
They
nuggets.
lost $10 million on Jamesy.
Oh dear.
But what about like nothing else after that? They like
Yeah, it didn't. I was looking on Box Office Mojo.
video.
It didn't look like it had a re-release in theaters at all. It came out in the '90s, so once it comes out on VHS, that's kind of it. So I think this movie has made its
just lost all kinds of money.
Yeah, it just lost money. I'm sure it made money on the VHS or the DVD or whatever, but there's no
so sad.
information on that.
I'm not
anywhere on
surprised,
here.
but it's sad.
Now, do you guys want to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
I feel like this is gonna be one of those movies where it's just totally different than what I expect.
You know what? I think it probably has a good score. I'll say it. I think it does.
Yeah,
I think people will probably like this movie. We're just being little brats about it.
I ain't never gonna watch it again. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
All right, you guys are both absolutely correct. This movie has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the consensus?
The audience
This
score
movie's awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
the audience score is 66, which kind of
'Kay.
feels more like
Yes.
what we're all thinking.
Yeah,
here.
that's pretty.
The critics' consensus is the arresting and dynamic visuals, offbeat details, and light as air storytelling make James and the Giant Peach solid family entertainment.
Gross.
So, light
Don't
as air
agree.
storytelling.
Shoot, I'll get
Light
my,
as air meaning like holy, like you could
Yeah,
punch a
like
hole through
there's
it.
a lot of plot
I'll
holes.
get my rating right now. I'm gonna give this movie a how bad 6. I'm gonna give it a 6.
6.
That's a D. It's a D minus. It's like a 60%, maybe a 59.5.
I'm giving it a 5 because I'm giving it a 5 because I mean I want to give it something lower. I did not enjoy it, but I will say that even though there were scary moments, it was like fun. It had a fun feel. Like
Yeah.
Right.
it was fun overall, but like it just didn't make any sense. Like there was
Did Addie
no
watch this with you?
no. There just was not enough understanding of even the characters. Like I didn't
Right.
get like the purpose of all the characters.
It is bugs.
Well, yeah, but
Right.
like just bugs. Like shouldn't they?
They all should have been metaphors or
Like, yeah.
allegories or
Like have you seen Life of Pi? Like where all the
Right.
different animals are like people.
I have not seen Life.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just
This movie definitely could have had more substance to it.
91%, my butt.
Um,
How many critics reviewed this?
A 74.
That's a lot. Ugh.
Yeah. That was back in the 90s, I
all right.
suppose.
Well, what
Um,
about you, Lou? What are you gonna give it? And I didn't love the music, and that's
the
an
music
issue for
sucked.
me.
Right.
Terribly.
Randy.
You've got a score in you.
3.
Tree.
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 That was awful.
Pick
Pick up a tree, my lord.
When will the Walt Vault review
I
Shrek?
want to watch Shrek right now and eat spicy nuggets. Shrek and spicy nuggets.
I love Shrek so much.
Shrek is like the best DreamWorks movie, hands down. Okay, babe, what are you giving this?
I think.
You give it what you want.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want.
I'm gonna give this a 6.5. I
Oh.
think that it is. It has it has enough fun moments that it's watchable, but it's so weird.
I'll freaking
that,
watch Totoro again.
Yeah, Totoro had more substance than this for
Yeah.
sure. It felt so weird throughout it that it's really hard to recommend this. If you have like a 6 or 7 year old kid that's into weird stuff, you could throw this on for them, and I think
I don't think
they'd
they
be
would
all
like
about it.
I
Just
think
like I was when I was
no,
I was a kid.
Yeah, and our childhood was a much different day and age. I don't think any kid would watch this right now and like it. They would be so freaking bored.
Think they'd be bored?
Uh huh.
Okay.
I think they'd be bored.
Right. What's the
Ain't no
dealio?
kid at my job would watch this movie.
I feel like Addie would watch it and then just be like, "Mama, what's happening?"
Right.
Like I don't like because it just doesn't follow like the traditional
Yeah.
storytelling.
It
It's
meanders.
not brightly colored though. That's why I don't think a kid would really like it. It's dull.
Well, it's definitely dull in the beginning, and then the magic starts happening, and it gets a little bit brighter.
I don't like it.
Right. We know.
We know you don't like the peach, Michelle. James and the giant urinal.
Pizza. James and the Giant Pizza.
Pizza? Can you imagine?
No,
I'd be on that.
In New York.
Chicago style.
Yeah. So
Oh.
so fairly middling scores for old Jamesy and his big old
And I
peach.
said, James, James,
James. Stop. I'm done. Oh, good.
All right. So next
Did you guys
week.
like that meme I sent you of the peaches on the bowl yesterday?
What?
The peaches, they were flopping out of the bowl.
Oh, in the text. Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So you don't like peaches, but you send gifts of peaches.
Yeah.
As long as it makes sense in your head.
Hey, we have to give someone a shout out.
Okay.
I don't remember her name, but you said that somebody commented on the Twitter saying that I did some good volleyball.
Oh, that's
stuff.
right. Yes. On Twitter, we received a comment. Hang on. I
got
wish you had
tweeted.
reminded me about this
Sorry.
a couple minutes ago. Hang
You
on
can
a
cut
second.
this part out.
Nope, I got it. It was Miss Elizabeth at Liz515. She said, "Yes, Michelle explaining volleyball terms on the Walt Vault pod."
I think it was one of our sports episodes.
That was a whole comment. Yeah.
Because y'all didn't believe me when I said a libero was a thing. Remember that?
Yeah, I didn't think you knew anything about volleyball, but I
I
appreciate
was
the
on
fact
the
that you did.
volleyball team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
true.
you were a gymnast and in choir.
That's true. Also,
You're only allowed 2 extracurriculars. I don't know which one you're trying to
what
do more.
lies beneath?
heck?
Okay. Next week we are going to be watching.
Oh, I'm excited for next week.
a newer movie.
Whew, thank goodness.
I
It just
don't-
came out on Disney Plus not that long ago.
I
too,
honestly do
guys.
not remember what we're doing, and we just talked about it.
We're doing a spoopy movie.
Yes,
Spoopy.
going along with our October theme, we are
Which one is
watching
it?
the 2019 live-action Disney film Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
The second Maleficent movie, which came out in
Evil.
2019, correct?
2019, yep.
Yeah.
He
we,
just
s-
said that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
we saw this in the... Oh.
We saw it in the theater back when
We saw
theaters
this in the
existed.
theater when they was open.
Yeah, you remember that?
I don't remember what that's like anymore.
What's a theater?
Starting to forget as well.
Mommy, what's a theater?
What's a theater? So, join us next week. We're going to see how high up those cheekbones really go. You know, Angelina Jolie, she's back.
When did
and,
we do episode 1
That's
of that?
another
mean,
good
you know what I
question
mean.
that
The
I
first movie.
should have had
I
prepared.
think it was like in October a couple years ago. I
Um,
wanna
It was
say.
just this last year, I feel
I
like.
think it was only last year.
I don't know.
What?
January of this year feels like
Wow.
6 years ago, so I have no
He was
idea.
mocking me.
hang on a second.
His name is
It's
James.
Oh,
That's
I
what
can't.
they call me.
Andre.
His name is Dre.
I feel
That's
like I'm
what
never gonna
mother
find it.
called him.
Oh, I can type. Duh.
And I'll say Dre.
Dre.
Dre. That's my name.
I'm done.
Our Maleficent episode is episode 80. We did it in October of 2019.
I knew it.
So 1 year later,
Knew it.
the sequel.
I knew it.
We shall
You definitely
review.
said a couple years ago, though.
I
That
said it was
lit-
in October.
That was
Good
the main
enough.
part.
Good
Um,
enough.
Yeah, so check out that
Good
old
enough.
episode as you
Do
get
it.
ready for
Do it.
this new episode where we review Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Oh, I'm excited to watch it again. We've only seen it the one time.
Yes.
I
correct.
own it and have never seen it, so there's
And
that.
it just recently came on Disney Plus, so that's exciting for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. So get your ears ready.
Get your spoop on.
Get your ears ready.
Get your spookies on.
Get your ears ready.
Oh my goodness, my headphones
Get your
are
spoopies on.
being annoying
It's
to
just
me.
spoopy season.
If you want to keep up with us in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias. Go there, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of Maleficent, Mr.
He's already skipping.
Let us know what you thought of James and the Giant Peach.
Nobody watched it.
Nobody watched
Nobody has ever seen it before. Let us know what you think of this movie, and if you would rate it higher than any of us.
They don't.
If you
don't.
if you have answers to any of these plot holes that we had, where is this rhino coming from? Let us know in the comments below. Go ahead and head on over to our podcast services. We're on Stitcher, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. Go
We're on
there,
the things.
hit subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review. All that stuff is very helpful. You can also head to our Patreon, patreon.com/The Walt Vault. Sign up there. That puts some money back into our pockets. Helps us keep the lights on here in this dark, dark vault. We're very appreciative of those who do. And that's been it for this week, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week for some Maleficent high cheekbone goodness. The vault is now closed.